Alright y'all, welcome back to an Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper. Today I'm very excited because I'm going to be sharing with you one way that I've monetized my existence and my homestead in a way that I stack streams of revenue as well, so I can get multiple payouts, if you will, from just one project or one investment of time and effort. And I'm really excited about this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a short home video for you guys to provide a little bit of context to some of this, but not only am I going to go through probably over 10 that I do myself, I'm also going to consider like another 5 that you should think about. They're ones that I'm not doing at the moment, but they could be a benefit and a blessing to you. And then I'm also going to talk about some of the pros and cons of each one. So stick around to the end. I think you guys are going to like this, and there's going to be an opportunity for you guys too to share your thoughts in the comment section about some of the things I covered, maybe potential pros or cons of each one that I did not specifically address, maybe something I missed, or if there's other ways that you guys earn an income from either your homestead or have monetized your life and your existence that you want to share with others, please feel free in the comment section below. Check this out. What are you doing? Are you saving seeds? Yes, those are Chinese red noodle bean seeds? And you're saving them to help your family? How old are you? Are you 2?
Yes.
Tell me 2.
2.
Wow, so you're a 2-year-old and you're saving Chinese red noodle bean seeds to help your family. And do we plant some of those for more food? Yeah. And then do we offer some up for sale sometimes too? Yeah. Wow, what a girl. Thank you. So what you just saw there is a little bit of the activity that's happening inside my house today. That is our 6th child, okay? Little Bell Pepper, and she's only 2 years old, yet, much like her 4-year-old older brother, she knows how to harvest and save a variety of seeds already. One of the main reasons that we got into gardening was that we wanted to decrease our grocery bill. As we were able to do that, we decided, hey, if we save our own seeds, we're going to decrease it even more because we're not going to need to buy seeds. And when we started saving seeds, we just said, wow, this is way too many seeds for one family with limited growing potential. So we began to offer those up as well. I'll touch on that later in this video. So since the primary way that a lot of people are going to get exposed to this is that this is a video, it's a YouTube video. I am a monetized channel on YouTube, so there is at least some potential for me to earn something from making this video from YouTube. To become a YouTube partner, you need to have at least 4,000 watch hours within a year and reach that 1,000 subscriber threshold. That can take some time and effort, but if it's something that you want to consider doing, I would highly recommend it if it's something that you desire and actually want to put forth the time and effort into. As a little bit of backstory for me, when I started the YouTube channel, it was actually only to share my videos elsewhere on the internet that I was already getting paid for. The reason that I came online in July of 2016 was that I wanted to begin to find different ways to earn money from home. I came online to blog for cryptocurrency on something called Steemit.com. Now since then, Steemit.com has continued to exist, but a lot of the community split and went over to something called Hive. And an interesting thing, okay, if I'm going to make a YouTube video, I have to be doing something or talking about something. That's going to take time. If it's a project I'm working on, it's a great way to earn something for, doing a project I was going to do anyway. However, rather than just doing the project, I have to film the project, potentially edit the project, upload the project, and that's going to take me probably about 3 times as long as just actually doing the project. So that's something to consider. It's going to slow down some of your progress, but it is a way to potentially get paid for stuff you're already doing. Here on the homestead, it makes a lot of sense, but also if you look at YouTube channels, it could be anything. You could get paid to go on a vacation. You could be a travel channel. You could get paid to cook food for your family. Now, we do some traveling and cooking too, and I made the joke, years ago, and it wasn't really a joke, but a kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, and kind of a slap against like Facebook and other things. And my quote was, don't post for free. because a lot of people have invested hours, and if you add up the hours, days of their life for really no financial return on their investment, posting and sharing things on Facebook, Twitter, other places, Instagram. And the thing that I really liked about Steemit and now Hive is that you don't need to reach, any sort of watch hours. You don't need to reach any sort of followers to have a potential, return on your investment of time and energy. So I began making the joke, that I don't like to do anything for free. If I cook breakfast for my family and there's an opportunity for me to, get paid for it, then why not turn that into some sort of content that can benefit, bless, entertain, whatever it may be, somebody else, and then, potentially earn a stream of revenue for that. So now, if you look at something like YouTube, again, it can take longer, and there may be an amount of, slowing down of life because you got to film, edit, and upload it, but it is a potential stream of revenue. My YouTube video, as I said originally, I just made those to share elsewhere on the internet where I was already getting paid. I can now make a YouTube video and get paid from that, upload it, have it in a Steemit post where I can potentially earn some cryptocurrency for that, and have it as a Hive post as well, and then have 3 streams of revenue from that one video. So this is what I'm talking about, stacking. A lot of people say don't have all your eggs in one basket, and that makes a lot of sense. Have multiple streams of revenue. It's going to be a big benefit to you. But if you can get paid multiple times for one egg, that's going to be huge too. So as we continue to build upon this, one thing that I like about both being able to blog online for cryptocurrency, and with that, there's a learning curve. That's one of the cons for that. One of the pros is you don't exactly need, to reach a certain threshold to begin making money from it or earning crypto from it that then you can exchange for money. But there is a learning curve for a lot of people to step into crypto, or to even step into, how to format a post, make everything look the way it does. That took me a while, but it was worth it, and I did get a good return on my investment. Also, one of the other cons is that if you just start trying to jump into a pre-existing community and nobody knows who you are or anything about you, you're not going to have a lot of intention in a situation like that, so your chances of actually making some decent payouts are going to be decreased as well. It was a risk I took. I got a return on that risk and investment, and I'm very pleased by it. But just be aware of that getting involved in it. Now, one cool thing that you can also see from having a YouTube channel is if you look under my videos, a lot of times you're going to see a Teespring store, displayed there, where you can go and buy shirts like this, say Built Homestead Tough. There's a number of other ones. When I finally reached 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, I had the opportunity to link a store like that, so I began setting up more stuff there and kind of promoting it. But at the moment, I even put out a video called "Do Not Buy Our Teespring Merch" because I found it to be of an inferior quality than what I would want to put my name behind. Yes, if somebody pays an amount for the shirt, I could get a portion. It could, bless my family with some creativity and some sort of design or slogan or something that we create here. But I didn't really want to stand behind that quality of a product. I have recently received some information from them that they're trying to up the quality. I'm not sure what all is involved in that, but I will say that my original shirt like this, the letters began to peel off. And all I did is I contacted them. I said, I'm not happy with this. I washed it and the letters are peeling off. I sent them some images and no questions asked. After that, they just sent me a brand new one in the mail. So essentially I got 2 for the price of 1. Only 1 looks nice, but I did, they had a free replacement that they sent me. And that's why I began creating that link again. I put it up when I reached 10K, had it for a minute, was like, whoa, I don't like this, don't buy our Teespring merch, remove that. And then after some things happened, stuff like this, I'm like, okay, if somebody has something that they're not pleased with, they can reach out to them, and if they get a free replacement, to me that's enough to justify reinstating that little bar beneath my videos where people have the opportunity to do that. So here, if somebody shows up on YouTube to watch a video, it doesn't cost them anything to get that. I don't charge people to watch my videos, but if I can have YouTube pay me for uploading them and having people watch them, maybe sit through some of the ads, that type of stuff, at least be exposed to them, that's okay with me. But then there's also now a personalized ad for another potential stream of revenue with the Teespring shirt and other merch, because it's not just all shirts. So one cool thing about back to gardening is now we began to sell, garden seeds as well. We save the seeds, we sell the seeds, and then also not everything is a seed. For instance, in my pocket, I think I still have some Egyptian walking onion bulbs. There's also wild garlic bulbs in the wild. Here's a look at a couple of those Egyptian walking onion bulbs. And although these act similar to a seed in that if you give one to somebody else, they can have a whole new plant, they're technically not a seed. So I will say that both with bulbs and things like that, that's another potential stream of income besides seeds themselves. And then right behind the camera here is a wall of fig trees. The fig trees right here are brown turkey figs. In the winter in my zone, they pretty much die back to the ground level before coming again from the roots the next spring. So since I know that's going to die back anyway, while they go dormant before they reach the part that they die back when it gets really cold, I can take cuttings from those dormant ones that I'm going to lose anyway, offer them up online on like Etsy, and then that's another stream of revenue from my garden based off of something that I'm not going to have anyway. So if I can not have it and make some money for it, that's going to be good. Running some sort of online store was always something that we had wanted to do. When through Steemit, a guy there made the Homesteaders Co-op, we set up shop, and then we just kind of cloned our shop to a degree and opened an Etsy one at the same time because the target audiences of each of those would be different. The one would be more kind of geared towards people from Steemit and people into cryptocurrency and stuff like that. But Etsy is a very well-known name, in a lot of people's lives. People look there for stuff, so even people who don't know me from elsewhere on the internet, who are just searching for certain products on Etsy, can now find them there, and we have that as well. So whether it's seeds or cuttings or bulbs like these, and I will point out that both the Egyptian walking onion bulbs and the wild garlic bulbils were sold out of, but I always hold some back because if something goes wrong in the mail, I want to be able to replenish what was lost and have a happy customer, someone who's pleased with the order from me. So now it seems like enough time that the orders that sold us out have all kind of went through and were successful, and what that does is that gives me an opportunity now to have some of the ones I held back that were pre-packaged, and I can list those now. So those of you guys who were interested but didn't get the opportunity can go below and check the link for our Etsy store, and there should be some available at the time of this video. They probably won't last long because they never do, but if you're interested, now may be your opportunity. Before I get into some of the cons of being able to do some of the stuff from our garden that I will point out like 3 other things that we do. One is, even yesterday my wife took tomatoes from our garden that were doing very well, the actual fruit. Here's an example of one. This is a lemon boy, so it's a little different than your normal red tomatoes. And she went up to the neighbor's house to get some cucumbers. They swapped. That's a good way for me to get produce that I'm not growing here without paying for, simply by something we're already generating. But with coming online with the Etsy shop too, one thing I can do at home is take something like this and make this and offer this up for people. Okay, this one just says Homestead, Sweet Homestead. I made it with a wood burning kit I've got, and it's actually just a free pallet board that I got in town. A number of people like buying stuff like this, so we offer it up as some home decor, some rustic home decor. And then we'll also take a variety of herbs. We've sold catnip from here and some other stuff where, it's not a seed, it's not exactly selling fresh produce, but it is something that you can offer up, dried herbs, and sell those through our Etsy shop too. But I will say that one of the cons of selling stuff is that you have to move physical product. If I'm selling seeds or bulbs or cuttings or crafts or something like dried herbs. And then even some of our young daughters would sit there and take like a hairband, and they would crochet different yarn things around it, have another craft that they could make. They could offer that up in our Etsy shop and then have a portion of the profit from that, so that even children can participate, just like you saw our 2-year-old earlier. So one problem with moving physical product is that you have to physically move that product. Last year, between election ballots and other things that were slowing down the United States Postal Service, it would take a while for me to ship a package and for the person to get it. That created a number of issues. There's also, the investment of time and energy and effort of packaging stuff, taking it to the post office, shipping it, that type of stuff. So that's going to be one of the cons To me, I'm going to drive to the post office periodically anyway, so it wasn't a huge deal for me, and I wanted to find more home-based streams of revenue, so it's worked out really well. You'll notice here sitting next to me also is a couple of books that we both wrote and are working on. This one here is actually just a story that my dad used to tell the children. Eventually he wrote it down and we decided we could probably just shoot a photo shoot to make the book. So my daughter, our oldest daughter, sat there and took all the photos and then I put it together. Here's a fiction book that I'm working on, and I've got a ways to go in the editing process, but I'm really excited to hopefully still be releasing that this year, and I'm looking forward to that. And also in the works is another one that my daughter shot where we've got all the images and we're just going, and the storyline is in our head, but soon we're just going to go through and kind of write all the text, and once I have the whole book kind of organized here, then I'll be able to put it out, you know, in a print edition, and that's going to be really cool for us. Especially with homeschooling, it gives my children a good opportunity to learn things about cameras, setting up shots, taking photos, editing the photos, working on stories. You know, this is going to be a rather short story, but it's going to be a fact-filled fiction book that also has a lot of information, which is going to be good to get into people's hands. And by being in that process, by learning all the things along the way, not only does my daughter get an education, you know, some of the things that she would learn, you know, in a public school, she's able to learn from home doing something like this, and by the end of it, she's going to have something physical, like the previous book we worked on together, that then also brings a stream of revenue for the family. You know, most projects that kids work on in school do not generate income for the family, but this is one cool way that we get to do it here. And another reason I really like books is that I realized to earn another wage at an hourly wage type system, I have to work another hour. Now I do have hours worth of investment of time and energy and creativity and editing and all sorts of stuff in making the books that we've put out already, but I never have to write that specific book again. As long as it exists, I'll be able to continue to have a stream of revenue from that every time somebody happens to buy one. A cool thing is, when I got set up, it was Kindle Direct Publishing. That was the way that I decided to self-publish my books. There's many other sites. Eventually, I think Amazon bought out Kindle Direct because now it's an Amazon payment that I get. And for each copy that we sell through Amazon, where I don't have to touch the book, it exists, they print a physical copy, they send it out, and then they cut me a check, you know, usually on a monthly basis for whatever books we sold. One thing that I need to work on is actually some digital versions of the book. Some things you can have on, like, you know, the Kindles that you can just read, some stuff like that. It's a learning curve for me. I haven't got there yet, but there's also been people asking me for digital versions of our books. I need to look into that here in the near future and get that too, because that's another way where it's very hands-off. Now we do offer, you know, the physical ones from our own homestead that I have to ship out as well, and one cool thing about that is that then we can autograph them. Pinky Pepper already autographed this one here because she's the photographer, and then we get a more personalized ones into the hands of the people ordering them. So if I had a digital version, I could have both Amazon selling physical copies, Amazon selling, you know, the digital copies, and then me selling physical copies as well, and have 3 different ways that the same book is able to get out there without me ever having to write it again. And another thing that I really like about, you know, both YouTube and blogging for crypto online is that I can take things that I enjoy. For instance, this Kakinda competition strain edible gourd. I just call them snake gourds because it's a lot easier to say. And we really like this. But let's say, for instance, I have this on my homestead. I'm growing it. Well, I can take some pictures of it and talk about it and blog for crypto and maybe have a couple different payouts that I get just from growing my own food here. Then if I feature it in a YouTube video, I can have that YouTube video potentially earn me a stream of revenue. I can take that YouTube video, share it on multiple sites where I blog for cryptocurrency, have like 3 payouts from it already, and then I can mention that we sell seeds for this, link the Etsy shop, and people can go buy that. And that's one thing that I do like about both blogging for crypto and the YouTube, is that I'm able to take things like this, mention them, work them into videos, put them in my video description or, you know, links in my blog, and then people can see different things that we offer and potentially get interested in that stuff. So it's nice to see how all sorts of stuff works together like that. And one thing that we've not done yet from our homestead is actually opened up like a produce stand or something like that. I know some people buy produce and then resell it to make a profit. I'm more of a, hey, I'd rather be the guy who actually grew it. We've not gotten there yet. We've thought about it. We may do that in the future, but that's another potential for people. And one thing that I plan on doing, if I ever start competing in a farmer's market type venue, is that I'm going to make sure to have some interesting stuff there. I may want people to buy my regular looking tomatoes or regular looking watermelons or regular looking, you know, bell peppers or whatever, but I'm going to have some interesting stuff there that catches their eye, draws their attention, has them ask some questions and begin engaging with you, and maybe even just getting attracted by something like this that they may not buy, may then lead to sales in the other things too. So that's something to think about. And then the final one of the about 10 that I'm going to share from our actual homestead now is, you know, this year we've been investing more and considering putting out the various things like selling extra animals or selling extra eggs. And eggs are cool if you have a rooster, because you can both sell the eggs for eating, or you can charge a little bit more as an incubated egg, you know, an egg that can be incubated, a fertilized egg, so that people can kind of print their own chickens. So you can have two different target audiences with the same thing, just eggs from your homestead. But if you're selling them for eating or selling them for fertilization, a lot of times people sell them for more when they're buying them to incubate. So that's something to think about. And as I kind of already mentioned, you know, with blogging for crypto, that gives me an opportunity to harvest my own garden. And I can do this in a YouTube video too, and then get paid to harvest my own garden or take care of my own animals, whether it's just the preventative care and regular maintenance, the chore type stuff, or if something goes wrong and I need to, you know, medicate or help or kind of doctor, veterinary stuff with my animals, then I get paid to take care of my own animals in that way too. It's a very strange day and age when, you know, you can earn an income from doing something like harvesting your own garden. I definitely would recommend taking advantage of an opportunity like that, or, you know, cooking your own meal. That's crazy, but people do it, and you could be too. And then a couple other ideas that we do not personally do yet ourselves. We may never, but I'm going to mention, just to help you guys think of different things as well, is partnerships and brand deals. You know, there have been some companies that have reached out to me. I think we're probably going to start working some of that into our life. But if you have a partnership or a brand deal, that's an opportunity to get paid for some stuff too. Also, affiliates. There's a lot of times when if I feature something that I like, I don't have a good example here, but if I feature something I like, I have a link in the description. People go down there and they buy it, and I get cut a portion. That's a pretty cool way to earn, you know, an income from something you're doing anyway that you stand behind and you were going to kind of expose people to anyway, or that you don't mind sharing about anyway, whether it's through blogging, videos, or however else, you know, social media. And with some of the stuff I've learned about just tending the land, setting up a homestead, other things, people have reached out to me to maybe do some consulting. They said, hey, if you would just come here, take a look at my stuff, see what you think I could improve on, give me some ideas about some different time, I would pay you, or about some different things, I would pay you for that. So being a consultant can also work very good. I may look into that. I definitely at least want to help people if they're reaching out to help me. If I can become compensated for my time and my energy and my effort and my gas to get there, it makes sense. And then of course with even recording content, you know, I could, and people have suggested that I start up a Patreon page where there's a membership, a subscription that people can kind of do to get exclusive content. That's something I may look into the future. And one thing too, depending on where you live, it may work out better for you or not. I believe here in my state there's a certain number of licenses, or at least one of 4 different options, or multiples of the 4, that I would need to sell like potted plants. Because of some stuff with the soil, other things, they don't want diseases and stuff to be spreaded. And that's one reason that I personally haven't sold plants yet. But so many plants are easy to propagate, so many plants are easy to clone and to get growing, and a lot of people are looking into growing, you know, just food, medicine. They're going to have some sort of trees or ground cover or shrubs or vines on their property anyway. If we can get them to be better ones, people are interested in that. So potentially even next year I might start doing some of that and just adding another layer of just monetization to my life. So guys, that's all I got for you for this video. Again, a lot of this stuff is stuff that the whole family can do, or we can be involved in together. It works really well for us. Not all these may work for you, And some of these are probably, maybe the investment of time and effort for us isn't really justifying the return on the investment. I don't know. I will say that not having all your eggs in one basket works out really well, and having different streams of revenue. There was a time where just blogging for crypto did so incredibly well, I wasn't concerned with much else. Then that kind of waned. YouTube went up a bit. In the spring of the year when people are planting gardens, our seed sales usually go up. You know, there's things that kind of ebb and flow and fluctuate as we go through the years. So it's nice to have those different streams of revenue. And I do hope that you guys consider just kind of stacking that function too. How you can have potentially one content that you made that then you can market different ways to potentially get a return on that investment. Maybe getting paid, 4 or 5 times just for doing the same amount of work you were going to do to put it out there once. That's something to think about. I guess one bonus one is if I had my own website and it was getting enough traffic, I could have potential ad revenue from there too. So hopefully this has helped you guys. Hopefully it's given you something to think about. If you guys have other things that you want to point out, feel free. Leave them in the comment section. Check out what other people are saying. Thank them if it's stuff that you wanted to hear and you got to hear and it was a good idea to think about. And if you see someone who maybe suggests something that maybe isn't so good, maybe kindly and gently point out some of the potential cons of that idea. It's a good idea to warn people ahead of time sometimes before they make a mistake. And one cool thing about a lot of this stuff too is it doesn't really cost me anything extra to do a lot of the things. This was a pallet board. That was free in town. Something like this was just an idea. It took energy and effort, but I already had a computer. I already had internet access, so it didn't cost me any extra to have a stream of revenue from just kind of the time we were going to spend together working on stuff as a family anyway. Hopefully this has blessed you. I thank you for your time. We'll see you next time. Papa out.
Thank you, bye-bye.